All right, here we are, guys. Hole number one, redesigned Oasis hole here. I am going to just switch to quasars. You know, they're not that expensive, and for Tour 4, for all practical purposes, it is going to be something that I recommend. I'm not going to do anything too fancy here because I want to make sure that you guys can get it out to my landing zones. So here you're going to see me not use very much topspin, nothing too fancy. I don't want you to be deterred by the Apoc 7. It's really not that big a deal. You can just model my spin. So if you want to just take a look at what I'm doing, and also my ring play, I'm just going to use whatever my max ring adjustment is and just play it as normal. Basically max ring adjustment normal, nothing really fancy spin-wise with the way that I'm doing landing zones or anything. There's nothing special about what I'm doing here. It's basically about focusing on getting the ball into play and also not getting it to run out too far. Keep in mind, if you're using extra mile, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's an extra mile 2, it doesn't matter. If you can model my land zone and copy my spins, the ball will run out the same. Very similar. It's not identical, but it's negligible, the differences. So do not be deterred by the club that I'm using. Also, you can also use Andrew's shot as well. So, you know, it looks like he's going to do a little bit different approach. If you do go with a lot of topspin here, you're going to need to land it a lot shorter. So Andrew looks like he is going to run through the fairway based on what I'm seeing here. We'll see. We'll see. So you can see he used quite a bit more topspin. It's going to be, you know, definitely bounce dependent. Let's see if he can get this to stop. And there you can see it is running through and just going too far. So that is something that you want to be careful of. And I just want you guys to know to be extra cautious there. And there you can see that I got mine right into the center here. And I'm going to try to set up here right around max club. And let's see if the new fairway is a little bit easier to play. This used to be a very brutal hole. It does seem a little bit more flat. You know, that ball guide for me doesn't seem to be jumping all over, which I do like to see. So let's see if we can't go right around 2 rings. I'm going to just focus on kind of straighten this up the best that I can. And we are going to go a little bit more than 2 rings here. And be very methodical and quick with our motions. And let's just see how this runs out, because I do want to see, is it close? It is very close. So that is a good sign. That means that they could have redesigned that fairway a little bit and give guys a lot better chance to make that one. So it looks like Andrew here is going to be okay. And all you have to do is basically use just enough power in this situation to get it to the fairway. It is going to help if you have a very good Nirvana for this tour. Otherwise, you know, you might have to aim a little bit more into the right open part and curl it back towards the green. So you can see how it's a little bit more open and receptive towards the right if you have a little bit shorter club. Because I do realize that this guide can, you know, kind of give you a little bit too advanced clubs. And I might, you know, as soon as I get back to the shop, I'm going to probably just switch things up a little bit just so you guys have a little bit more distance-wise. But the goal, I do want you guys to know that the goal is to never hit it into the rough. If you copy my shot as opposed to Andrew's drive, we're never going to be in the rough. So that is something that I want you guys to keep in mind for strategy. And like I said, you know, with only 3 topspin and no power, you can get out to where I just did with any club. There's no real issues getting the ball out there. And let's see if he can just putt this in real quick. Ooh, wow, that's a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. And here we are going to go to a shootout. If, in fact, we get to a stumbling block here. Here is a Glen Monarch hole. What I usually do here, especially on tricky winds like this, you're going to just see me play a rough bump here. So I do play it very close to max. So you'll probably see me do similarly. That might be just a tad too much backspin. I know it doesn't like to roll out quite as far as the guide shows sometimes, so I do got to be a little bit cautious there with the way that I play the run out. Aside from that, we're going to play very close to max here. So let's see what this looks like. Looks like I might have just overcorrected the rings just a tad too much. I played right around 5 rings, 5.3 win. Overall, it's not too bad of a shot. Keep in mind that it's more about copying my spin. If you don't have sniper, if you don't have, you know, I might end up switching these clubs a little bit up for you guys. Just so you guys see a little bit better guide. But I also, at the same time, I want you guys to know this is a learning experience for you. Being able to see this ball guide, given the spin, if you can just replicate these exact same spins and hit it exactly how I'm doing it with your club, no matter if it's Viper, no matter if it's, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's Tsunami with no guide, it really doesn't matter. It's just all about replicating that shot. So do keep that in mind. I'm going to you know, cut this video off, and do be looking for videos of mine with extra clubs as well.